Immune system is the defense mechanism of our body. Today, we'll talk about how our body fights infections like a superhero. Immunity is divided as innate and acquired. Innate itself means that it's present since birth. It acts really fast within minutes, but it has no immunological memory and is non-specific. Let's divide it into three parts to understand it better: barrier mechanisms, cells, and the complement system. Barrier mechanisms include the skin, which protects us by desquamation, immune cells, and antimicrobial proteins. The gastrointestinal system kills pathogens by having a really low pH. The respiratory system gets rid of pathogens by unidirectional cilia and resident macrophages. The genitourinary system secretes soluble factors into the urine and has anatomical barriers like glycoprotein plaque, uroplecins, etc. Lysozymes in the tears also help prevent microbial colonization. Now let's study the cells of the immune system. They are derived from multipotent hematopoietic stem cells. Ones important to us are neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, mast cells, monocytes, macrophages, and dendritic cells. Neutrophils are the first responders. They have a multi-lobe nucleus and about 200 enzyme granules. They are the most abundant WBCs, comprising of 60 to 70% of the WBCs. They are highly mobile. Neutrophils eat up, which means phagocytose the microorganism. Then it forms a phagosome inside the neutrophil. This phagosome, when combines with the lysosome in the neutrophil, becomes a phagolysosome. After this, pH of the phagolysosome is so low that it kills 2% of the microbes. Hundreds of microbes are ingested at the same time. The neutrophil then undergoes a suicide mission, that is, an oxidative burst by highly reactive oxygen species. Now, let's come to eosinophils and basophils. They are both granular cells, so have a lot of pro-inflammatory markers. Eosinophil stains with pink, that is eosin, while basophil stains with blue, hematoxylin. Eosin is phagocytic, whereas basophil is non-phagocytic. They both have antiparasitic activity and have a role in asthma and allergies. Basophils also contain heparin, so they can prevent blood clots. Mast cells are also non-phagocytic. They are present in connective tissue and mucous membranes, cause inflammation and enable wound healing. They are also involved in asthma and allergic reactions. They have a major role in anaphylactic reactions. Their granules also secrete heparin, as well as histamine, which has a major role in chemotaxis of neutrophils. Now coming to monocytes, they are single-lobed cells present in the blood. They differentiate into macrophages and dendritic cells. Both of these engulf and destroy bacteria by reactive oxygen species. They also secrete chemokines. All these three are antigen-presenting cells. That means they present the antigen to T lymphocytes. Dendritic cells are the main APCs. They phagocytose the pathogen, kill it, divide it into small fragments of amino acids and present it to the lymphocyte. Additionally, there are natural killer cells. These originate from the lymphoid cells. They do not attack microbes as such, but they kill our own defective cells, that is, the ones that are infected with viruses or tumor cells. They do so by creating pores in the phospholipid membrane of the cells by releasing cytotoxic granules. Also, they cause apoptosis of these cells, that is, programmed cell death. Let's review the innate immune system now. Imagine a pathogen from the environment enters our body through the nose. Most of the pathogens are evaded by the unidirectional cilia, but some may enter the lungs. Now, they invade the epithelial layer and start multiplying therein. The resident macrophage of the lungs phagocytizes this pathogen and releases inflammatory cytokines, also attracts cells like the eosinophil, basophils, and mast cells. Neutrophils now attack and new ones are formed in the bone marrow. Natural killer cells destroy the cell if it's a virus. Dendritic cells phagocytose and kill these microbes. They'll also activate the acquired immune system now. Active immune system is not present since birth. It is acquired as pathogens are acquired. This needs to be primed, which takes more than weeks. But once a pathogen is encountered in a certain way, the acquired immune system stores it as immunological memory. And the next time, response is quick and highly specific. So as we have seen earlier, the antigen-presenting cells, that are the dendritic cells, phagocytize pathogens and break their proteins into small amino acid chains. They then go to the nearest lymph node and present these amino acids to the T cells. The T cells can see these amino acid antigens only if they are presented on MHC, that is major histocompatibility complex molecules. When a T cell with the specific receptor for these amino acids comes along, they bind to each other like lock and key. This is called priming of the T cells. B cells also have receptors on their cell surface to bind to specific antigens. They don't require MHC molecules to bind. The B cell receptors can directly bind to an antigen. They then phagocytize them. The B cells are also antigen presenting cells and present these antigens to T cells. T cells in turn activate the B cells and convert them into plasma cells, which leads to production of antibodies, which are B cell receptors in secreted form, that is, they circulate in blood, and hence antibody mediated immunity is known as humoral immunity. These antibodies are immunoglobulins. They do not directly kill the pathogens, but they coat them, which is known as opsonization. Opsonization makes it easier for phagocytes to identify the pathogens. Let's come back to the T cells. This is cell-mediated immunity. With antigen presentations, naive T cells convert into mature T cells. They are of two types, CD4 plus and CD8 plus T cells. CD4 plus T cells are helper T cells. They do not kill the pathogens, but they secrete cytokines which coordinate activities of the immune system. Whereas CD8 plus are cytotoxic T cells. They kill the target cells. Don't be overwhelmed by so much information. Let's revise it completely now. Pathogens enter the body through nose, bypassing the lung cilia and other mechanisms. They now divide into the epithelium. Local macrophages engulf them and release cytokines, which leads to inflammation and chemotaxis of other cells. Neutrophils cause the first response and engulf most of the pathogens. If it's a virus, natural killer cells kill the cells that have engulfed them. Dendritic cells phagocytize and divide them into small amino acid chains and present them to T cells. This is the bridge between innate and acquired immunity. Some antigens go directly into the lymph node and present themselves to the B cells. B cells also phagocytize them and present the antigens to T cells. T cells in turn convert B cells into plasma cells and leads to release of antibodies. Antibodies opsonize the antigens and make them more attractive to all the phagocytes. In the meanwhile, there is clonal expansion of the T cells, so our immune system can combat all the pathogens. When these extra T cells remain neglected, they undergo deletion. But a few of them are stored as memory T cells, so the next time we encounter an infection is quick and specific response. Thank you for watching.